Well, let's rock and roll, friends. I've got a lot on my mind today, starting with New York City school districts. It's no surprise that I'm not a big fan of New York City, right? Although I have visited there many times. My wife lived there when we were dating for 2.5 years. Beautiful city. Great place to visit. Wouldn't want to live there. Another example as to why? Meatless Mondays will now be a thing in New York City public schools come 2019-2020 school year. That was voted on and passed by the school district this past week. Think about that. So vegans are now telling meat eaters that on Mondays, they've long been saying you shouldn't eat meat. Let's do Meatless Mondays. Now they're telling them, these kids that need protein to grow, literally, children need to eat protein to be healthy. Now they're going to load them up with carbs and sugars and not afford them the opportunity to eat meat. Think about if this was reversed and us carnivores out there told the vegans of the world, hey, on Wednesday, it's meat-only lunch day. No fruits, no vegetables, no pasta, no, nothing. You can just eat meat. Double standard that's going on in our world is sickening. The left controls, or they try to control everything. And if we don't start standing up for what is right and true, we're going to wake up one day and we're going to wonder what happened, because it just keeps eroding little bit by little bit. They're really good at it. But yeah, so poor New York City kiddos will no longer be allowed to eat meat, or offered the opportunity to eat meat on Mondays. Also, think about the aspect or the effect on wildlife. Aspect's not the right word. Think about the effect on wildlife. So if we all turn into vegans, what happens? Well, we need to cultivate more agricultural land to produce more crops to feed all of us protein-starved vegans, right? Right. So what happens? You destroy more habitat for wildlife. Does it make any sense? These people think that they're friends of wildlife. They're not. They hate wildlife. It's all a scam. They don't do anything for wildlife conservation. By not eating meat, they are, in fact, choosing to destroy more habitat. Well, friends, with the way that the human population is exploding, we're destroying enough habitat already, every day. It's getting plowed, forests are getting logged. Being a vegan and this holier-than-thou crap that these people throw at us, it's a joke, it's a scam, it's a lie, it's an illness. That is the truth. Next thing on my mind, Beto, or is it Beto? I don't know. We need to veto this guy. Beto. His real name is Robert Francis O'Rourke. He hates the Second Amendment. He is a big fan of taking from those who work very hard and giving to those who don't. I'm sorry. And he wants to run for president. He just announced this week, running for president. We already took care of him in Texas as far as his failed Senate race against Ted Cruz. And now the guy wants to run for president, which is fine. He can do whatever he wants. It's a free country. It's a free country as long as he's not in charge. Oh, actually, everything would be free if he was in charge. Everything. Yeah, here. Have whatever you want. Open borders. He even said he would tear the wall down immediately. But all that aside, he hates the Second Amendment. I don't care for him. There's no chance in hell we can have this guy in office in 2020. Veto. Robert Francis. Next up, Finland, in the same socialism vein as Bernie and Beto and all these other yahoos taking from those who work and giving to those who want to sit on their asses all day. Finland, socialist country, right? Their prime minister resigned this week because the government was failing. Their healthcare reform fell flat on its face. This is what happens when, for an extended period of time, you just give everybody free stuff. Eventually, somebody's got to pay for that. Well, Finland is now paying for it. I mean, it's no surprise to anyone that socialism doesn't work. And it's not working in Finland. So their prime minister resigned just this week, actually. So we'll see which direction their government goes. Hopefully, they'll turn it around. So, sorry about you, Finland. New Zealand. Horrible, horrible situation. 49 people dead so far from their largest mass shooting ever on record. It's a shame and a tragedy that cannot be overstated. 2 mosques were attacked while people were praying. Listen, I'm not Muslim. I don't dislike Muslims. I'm indifferent. I don't understand, because whether you are a Christian or Muslim, an atheist, whatever you believe what you want. But why do you have to hate those that don't believe what you believe? And it's the same thing when you take it to hunting and the anti-hunters out there, which that's just a microcosm of what's really wrong with society. But anti-hunters seem to hate hunters. I see it on social media every day. They literally hate us. They've said all sorts of kind things like, hope your kids get hit by an 18-wheeler, hope you die in a fire. And those are just some of the more PG ones from this week. But that hate magnified to the point where people are going into mosques and killing each other. I feel very, very sad for my kids and the world that they're growing up in. Also, though, back to this New Zealand, the actual event that occurred. Did you know that New Zealand police officers carry pepper spray, batons, and tasers? That's right. They do not routinely carry firearms. I'm sorry? They don't carry guns and they're the law enforcement officials? It's a really feel-good society. I'm not belittling the deaths of these people, but it took them 20 minutes to respond to an active shooter. And I don't blame these cops. Like, why the hell am I going to go into a mosque where there's an armed gunman when all I've got is bear spray? What the hell? Come on. There's bad people in this world. Taking the guns out of the hands of good people, or, God forbid, police officers, isn't the answer. Good God. Moving on. The Connecticut Supreme Court ruled 4-3 to allow Remington to be sued over the Newton, Connecticut school shooting. That's right. 4-3. They're going to allow the families of the children and staff that were killed at that school shooting to sue the firearms manufacturer. Yeah, I think all the fat asses in the world should start suing whoever, I don't know, what company makes spoons or ice cream for that matter. Or, hey, if I get in a wreck tomorrow, maybe I'll just sue GMC. Surely it's got to be their fault, right? Once again, society just degrading to the point of no return. Take some responsibility for your actions, people. It's your fault. When you screw up, you did that. No one else did that. It's mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. Sue McDonald's, because their French fries are making me fat, right? Just don't put it in your mouth. Luckily, there is a federal law that should strike down the Yahoo Supreme Court in Connecticut's decision. Because, let's face it, this bigger picture, I mean, the deaths of over 20, whatever it was, 20-something people at the school shooting there, I mean, that could bankrupt Remington, one of America's oldest firearm manufacturers. That's more about gun control than it is damages for those families. If that is allowed to happen, bye-bye gun manufacturers. Hey, we'll be right there with New Zealand. Maybe at least the cops still carry guns, right? Those are the things weighing on my mind. It's got me riled up today. I hope that next week is a better week, because I'm like fuming mad. Again, let me leave you with this message. Do not hate, guys. Don't hate. Love. When people say those things to you, I'm talking to hunters especially, because I see sometimes people respond in the same way that we're attacked, and don't do that. Delete, block them, or just tell them have a nice day. God loves you. Whatever God you believe in, they love you. Because these people need love. They have so much hate in their lives. And I personally just don't have time for it. Life's too short. So, play hard and love harder. Peace.